Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad ALIFF NAJMI bin BADRUL ZADRIN. I'm from MBA 1183A. I want to talk about the impact of Covid-19 on economy. By the way, before I talk about the impact of economy, I want to tell about the background of Covid-19. The new COVID virus, which caused the disease Covid-19, first arrived on Malaysian shore on 25 January 2020. A month later, in a February case number inched up to 2020 positive case. By the mid-March, case number had ballooned 24 to 40 to 428 case. In the response, Malaysia authorities issued a 2-week movement control order (MCO) on 18 March 2020. Business and service deemed to the non-essential were shut down. Interstate travel was curtailed. Public sporting, religious events and gatherings were cancelled. Okay, I want to talk about the economic impact of COVID-19. By now, it is clear that this pandemic will have instantly damage effect on the Malaysian macroeconomy as well as on the economic welfare of the rakyat. The main sources of economic damage in Malaysia are twofold. The first is knock-on effect from the impact of the coronavirus abroad. The second is generated domestically due to the newly imposed movement control measure. First, long before the particular lockdown measure in Malaysia, the outbreak of the new coronavirus in China had created wide-ranging supply and demand shock that have reverberated across the globe. Commodity exporters around the world braved lower price as Chinese demand collapsed, while global manufacturers faced production cut as Chinese factories are locked down. In Malaysia, the effect of this Chinese shock may be there. The Malaysian economy is amongst the most highly exposed economies in the region to both Chinese demand and supply. China is a Malaysian number one trading partner, a large source of foreign investment, and its top tourist source outside of ASEAN. Additionally, over the past decade, Malaysian firms have become among the most deeply integrated in the global production network. This is accompanied by the fact the regionality of supply chain have become increasingly Chinese-centric. Indeed, more than a quarter of Malaysia's Chinese trade is made up of internet components, exactly the kind of product. Additionally, over the past decade, Malaysian firm has become amongst the most deeply integrated in the global production network. This is compounded by the fact the regional supply chains have become increasingly Chinese-centric in more than a quarter of Malaysia to China trade. It is made up to the intermediate component, exactly that kind of product that gets affected the most when global supply chains are disrupted. Second, MCO measure, while absolutely essential in the impending the outbreak of the new coronavirus in Malaysia, will have a devastating economic cost too. On a micro level, the closure of the business and service along with the travel and movement control will have outsized impact on the private consumption and business investment. Its adverse effect on individual livelihood and business will be even more pernicious. Individual and business effect by the temporary closure will be at a high risk of the facing immediate cash flow constraint as their earnings dwindle. Critically, the liquidity squeeze will be disproportionately felt by small and medium enterprise and vulnerable groups such as low-income individuals and part-time and unemployed workers. This can have knock-on effect on their entire economy, leaving business insolvent, individual bankrupt, and the financial system saddled with non-perform loan. The franchise income has suffering a significant decline during the movement control order (MCO) period due to the COVID-19 pandemic. particularly in the food and beverage subsector, which dropped by up to 70%. He said the franchise income has suffered a significant decline during the MCO control order (MCO) due to the Covid-19 pandemic, particularly in the food and beverage subsector, which dropped by up to 70%. The value of the franchise industry sale this year may not be as successfully as the previous year due to the effect of the Covid-19. Among the challenges faced include a lack of the worker, raw material due to logistic problem, operational costs, as well as rental and utility payment through the MCO. Besides, many malls are also struggling with their cash flow as operating costs have increased between 10% and 20% due to a need to comply with SOP, standard operating procedure, such as additional manpower, hygiene and cleaning material, investment in temperature check equipment, and so on. At here, I want to say online shopping will emerge as a major channel for retail goods and service in a post-control movement or the MCO era, although it will not replace mall in an independent retail research firm predicts.
COVID-19 affect different people in different way. Most affected people will develop mild to moderate illness and recover without hospitalization. Most common symptom: fever, dry cough, tightness. Serious symptom: difficult breathing or shortness of breath, chest pain and pressure, loss of speech or movement. Seek immediate medical attention if you have serious symptoms. Always call before visiting your doctor or health facility. People with mild symptoms who are otherwise healthy should manage their symptoms.
Okay, that's all for my speech to inform video. Thank you.